they're already here. Oh, okay. This is really good, actually. Oh, so what are we doing today? Today, we are going back to we are going back to We Farm today. We are gonna be continuing the second day. Yeah, no. Okay, so what's the idea for today? So today we're gonna be looking at the most important day in Stardew Valley, which is day 2. You may think it's day 1, but it's not, because you really can't do that much. If you watched Perfect Day 1 video on YouTube, which is great, you should look at it, whatever, over here, over there. But you're limited in what you could do because you don't have a fishing rod yet, right? The mines aren't unlocked. There's stuff you can't do. The most influential day is day 2 because that is when you can really start making some money. We're going to be looking at day 2. What do you do in day 2? How do we have the perfect day 2? First things first, go to sleep. Who cares? The third being a rain day always is important because that means that you can catch catfish, okay? The problem is you can't make money from catfish if you can't catch them. And you can't catch them unless your level is not 0 or 1. The main things we need to do, we need a level fishing, catch lots of fish. That's what we need to do. We also need to set ourselves up for success for the copper pick so that we can put in the copper pick on the 3rd so we can go to the mines on the 5th when it opens with an upgraded pickaxe. Now, because this is kind of a more generalized playthrough, we're still gonna be doing other things as well while fishing. Because today is the most important day, we're probably gonna have to reset the day a few times. So we wanna have a hoe so we can get worms, the hoe spots, the artifacts. Whatever. So we made 2 chests. Generally, I do that in my playthroughs. We can bring this chest with us and we can leave it at the ocean somewhere as long as NPCs don't break it. And then we basically have a lot more inventory space to work with. Now, of course, you don't have to use a chest. You could just drop stuff on the ground and then go pick it up later, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. So we need to figure out where these bubblers are at. All right. The best way for us to do that is we're going to start tracking where these bubbles are at. I understand some people may not want to restart their second day. And if you don't want to, then don't. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you would do this. Take a screenshot. We can look to see if we have any bubbles and try to figure out the best place for us to be. The trick about bubbles is they can spawn and they can go away. So now we're checking here. Now, if you're playing this on like Switch or mobile or something, and you're like, I can't do the screenshot thing, you can just walk around. I'm just saving a few extra seconds here. So far, no bubbles, which is not good. Great question from Kyun, which is, are bubbles the same every time you reset? Yeah, they're the same every time, unless you start like a brand new file. The bubbles are gonna spawn at the same exact locations at the same exact times and go away at the same exact times. So that's why we're essentially doing right now is we're scouting where are the bubbles at what time so we can create a route to follow the bubbles. No bubbles here either. Quite unfortunate. I think what we're gonna do is roam because bubbles show up and then stay for a while.
Many hours later.
Oh, there's one. Hey, okay, so there's bubbles here. All right. So I'm writing this stuff down. This is good. These bubbles are lasting a while. Bubbles. It's a rough day. All right, more bubbles. This is how generally how this works, right? So you're just checking around, you're finding bubbles. I'm putting the squiggly about since I don't know when it starts. It's like I don't know if it's worth it to go to Haley's. It might be a really short bubble. This one seems worth. So it seems like we're just gonna stick around the ocean. Just a brutal day. The elusive bubbles, man. This is good. This is cash money right here. These bubbles are what we need. It's coming together. The first half of the day, there's like no bubbles. There we go. Gone at midnight. So exit the title, restart the day. Here's what we learned in our first run through. Basically spent the day running around going zone to zone, taking screenshots. These were where bubble spots are. What we can do is once we finish with one, we can just go to the next spot until it starts. Unfortunately, we had like no bubbles in the first half of the day, really. Looks like it's just gonna be stay at the ocean and go to these locations. If we wanted to, we could do a second pass through, focusing on like the lake area, because we didn't really look at the lake area much. Another thing we have to keep in mind is we have to stop at Clint's to pick up 1 copper ore. The bubbles are... They really actually are important. So I know it's a pain in the butt. It's weird to like walk around and then restart your day, but I promise you the bubbles pay off. Now, with fishing, the most important thing is that we get as many perfects as possible. It's a hard balancing act, but when you get a perfect, you get twice as much XP. Oh, got a perfect. I got double XP on that fish, which is helpful. Something we can do to save space, since we will run out of space, is we can eat stuff that we won't be catching a lot of. In this case, we're only going to catch one sunfish. So if we're trying to get a perfect on a fish, right? And all of a sudden a chest shows up. You're not going to get a perfect in a chest. Chests give you a little bit more XP than a perfect does. So it is better to go for the chest. And also, you're going to get good stuff from it. But yes, you technically can get a perfect in a chest, and it will give you an insane amount of XP. Now, what you're going to find is it is really difficult to get perfects when you're very low level, and you have a few options. Technically, what we could do at the very start, and I will do it to show you guys, is we can get the training rod. The training rod's not going to be useful for very long because we can't get quality fish from it anyway. And we are literally going to be trashing this in just a few hours. But the spending that tiny bit of money so that we can get some perfects is going to be useful. Now, the reason you want to get higher quality fish isn't even necessarily because they give more money, even though they do. It's because if you get a higher quality fish, it actually adjusts the modifier for the XP a little bit too. But if we guarantee a perfect every single time, that is a good trade-off until our level is a little bit higher. Now, the really tragic thing is if we're using training rod and we don't get a perfect, that's like you really done messed up. Like, don't do that. So we're gonna eat these. About to be noon. Our fishing level is 1. And we need to go to Clint's. There. We dropped it and we picked it up. That's all we need to do there. Now, something else to keep in mind is generally ocean fish will give you the best XP early game, but you can make a little bit more money at the lake, the mountain lake, because of largemouth bass. Because the mountain lake is so far away, unless you have a lot of bubbles up there, I mean, it really does just depend where the bubbles are. That's where you need to go. You know, I hadn't thought of this before, but it's interesting. Because we know that bubbles is the most important thing, it seems advantageous to me that you always buy a training rod. No matter how good you are at fishing, you could be like the best fisher, speedrunner of the game, but training rod seems like a really good idea because if you have bubbles that are close to shore, you're not going to get higher quality anyway. I think training rod's really good, but now I'm going to trash it because we are going to the ocean rope spot. There's this spot, and my fishing level is still 1, so we're going to keep working on this. You notice you can cast left and right by holding A and D. If you're on controller, just your left and right movement, or up down if you're casting from horizontally. I want to go up down. Basically, you can push your cast in a direction by using your movement. As you start your cast, just hold a direction and it will do that. Pretty fancy, huh? Oops, I missed it. That sucks. Ugh. Can you even sell the training rod? I bought it for 10 is what I'm saying. Hey, nice. That was kind of the thing I was gonna have to mention at some point that I had not mentioned, which is realistically to actually have a guaranteed chance of being set up on day 3 where you're getting the copper pick going. You really do need to have a diamond or something. And we did get a diamond. Either that or a bunch of copper ore. We're gonna sell this diamond and then we're gonna be getting copper ore with it so that we can smelt it so that we can get the copper pick before we go to the mine. How much is an ornamental fan worth? That's worth 300. We're actually going to keep that guy too. What a good find. What? It's gone. We got a diamond. We're level 2 fishing. It's okay. Just focus on getting perfects. That's what's important here. Basically just keeping the fish that we are going to be catching because we're at ocean, which is why it's nice to stay at one spot. Here, the next bubbles. The further out you cast, the better quality stuff you're going to get. We'll cast out as far as we can while staying in range of the bubbles. As long as we're hitting that button and starting eating immediately, we're not wasting time. Wow. That was short bubbles. They're already here. Oh, okay. This is really good, actually. This means these bubbles are going to be here till midnight. This is exactly what you need. If you're doing your own playthrough and you get a long bubble, that is what you really need to get ahead. And frankly, the point of this entire video almost is you need to find some bubbles that are long. There's another thing that I didn't even mention. The harder the difficulty of the fish, the more XP you'll get. The higher quality of the fish, the more XP you'll get. You get a perfect, double XP. If you get a treasure chest, more than double XP. You're gonna get insane amounts of XP. It all plays into the formula. You need to try to level up as much as you can so that tomorrow you can catch catfish like nobody's business, and that is where all your money will be made. All right, so this day's actually gonna come together pretty good because of these bubbles, I think. If catfish just play nice, you can catch them at level 2, but like if I have level 3 or level 4 fishing, then that's pretty ideal. If we had bubbles all day, technically you can get level 6 fishing fishing on the first day. It's technically possible. It's been done. All right, we hit level 3, I think. Yep, we did. Oh, come on. I suck. I'm bad. Now, these bubbles are going to go away at midnight. We can still keep fishing till 2 a.m. So we're going to be at level 3 here at the end of the day. Day 3, we'll be able to catch catfish a lot easier. Level 4 would be better, but we didn't have any bubbles for the first 7 hours. There was just no bubbles anywhere on the map. So we're up to level 3 fishing. Now we're set up for catfish. So I can do another video now going in on the 3rd day where things change a bit because now we need to have catfishing. All right, we need to catch as many catfish as we can while smelting copper bars that we bought with these fish that we're going to sell and this diamond we're going to sell. So that's going to be the next video. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like and subscribe.